So far in Pokemon Journeys we have had quite a few main character returns already, so I thought this would be a perfect time to rank which ones were the best, which characters got the best development and the best show of their character, which characters came back and straight away showed us why we love them. This is a very tough list and all of these were done really well in my opinion, so this ranking is all my own opinion, but I didn't hate any of the character returns. Also please note this is full return, so people like Tracy, Brock and Surge won't be included. But let's get into this and I hope you enjoy. So starting us off we have Drayden. Gonna be honest, I actually forgot that he returned and I'm quickly re-adding him to the list now, as Iris overshadowed this guy a lot. Sure, it was cool to see him again and his gym, but we didn't get much from him other than the commentary with Go. It was a very nice touch from the writers, but there isn't too much to talk about here. Coming in number 7 is Chuck. Chuck is a really good character and one that I enjoyed returning a lot. His on-screen presence and personality is fantastic. He brings so much energy to the episode and he's a strong and smart character. I guess the reason he is last is because we didn't see much growth from him himself. We didn't learn what he's been doing, we didn't have much back and forth between him and Ash. It was nice that he referenced their battle, but other than that he was just there to show off the gym and commentate on the battle with Go, but it was still a very solid return. In 6th place is Karina, another returning gym leader, and this one was also done really well. It was a really big battle between her and Ash, which makes the stakes a lot higher than the Chuck return. Also we learned that Karina is taking place in the Pokemon World Championship, so there was a lot to go on with this return and I think they nailed it. She kept her quirky fun personality and her back and forth with Ash was great. Also the battle itself was pretty damn good, with a Mega Lucario going head to head with Ash's powerhouse Dragonite. Overall this return was just epic. Coming in number 5 is Lance. This return was incredible. Coming just 12 episodes into Pokemon Journeys, the hype surrounding this episode was huge. A returning champion, one we hadn't seen in 16 years, and a fan favourite character who has appeared in both the original series and Advanced Generation. It was the perfect choice to introduce the Pokemon World Championship to us, one of the original champions taking on Leon, the current champion. It just made so much sense in so many ways. And Lance is just a cool guy, a great battler. He always makes a scene whenever he appears, using his flashy red Gyarados or his Dragonite. This time he used Gyarados to take on Leon's Gigantamax Charizard, and it was a great battle. Overall this return was done perfectly, and the reason it's not any higher is because there's just too many other great returns. In 4th place is Dawn, the most recent returning character. Now Dawn is one of my favourite characters, probably my favourite female character in all of the Pokemon anime. So I'm pretty surprised that she didn't shoot up to the number 1 spot really easily. But if you watch my reviews you know I would have liked a bit more from these 2 episodes, and with Dawn and Ash in particular, but that doesn't take away from how good these episodes are. Dawn does a great job of helping Chloe and sort of being a mentor figure towards her, showing her the world and teaching her to explore for herself. Their bonding moments were the highlights of this 2-parter, but as I said before, Dawn doesn't quite crack the top 3 because the return wasn't really about Dawn. It was more about Chloe and her journey, whereas the other returns have heavily focused on the returning character. We didn't even get to see any of Dawn's other Pokemon besides Piplup and Togekiss in a flashback. We didn't learn much about what she's been doing other than the fact that she's been in contests in different regions, so it left a little bit to be desired. But there's hope that she'll return again, and maybe they saved some of the best stuff for the next return. But still, it was a joy to see Dawn come back, and despite the problems I had, she added so much to these episodes. Bringing us into the top 3 is Alola. This spot is dedicated to the whole Alola episode, Pokemon Journeys episode 37, as this episode featured the return of pretty much every single Alola character from the main cast, which was awesome. And you'd think it might feel rushed or crammed in, and it didn't. It felt nicely paced, everyone got their moments to shine, it was truly wholesome, and it was like watching another episode of Sun and Moon. And that was the perfect vibe that Journeys managed to create. The premise of the episode was nothing too crazy. Ash and Go headed to Alola to research, and Ash got his reunion with his Alola family. And we got a great introduction to baby Lei. We got Ash's Alola Pokemon shown, Go meeting all of them and having his own little story about fitting in and being shy around new people, even having a battle with Kiawe. It was just such a packed episode, but it felt natural and well written. So overall, there's not much more I can say about this. We all know it was fantastic. Taking the second spot on the list is Iris, maybe the most divisive on the list. Some people loved it, some people hated it, and I'm definitely in the camp that absolutely loved it. Iris is a character who deserved a return. She broke the trend of Pokegirls returning in the following series, so she didn't get her original chance to come back and shine. So Journeys knew they had to do her justice, and they did exactly that. They brought her back as the champion of Unova. This is a topic that people are split on the most. I didn't see a problem with this at all, as this is her natural progression in the games. It's already happened in the games timeline, so why should it be a problem in the anime? I can understand that we didn't see her full progression, but we wouldn't have had time to do that anyway. We've been focusing on Ash's journey through Kalos and Alola, while Iris has been doing her own thing, working her way up to become champion. And she was already one of Ash's strongest companions. It was proven on many occasions, so I think it was the perfect writing choice to bring her back as a champion. And they gave her the battle with Ash and showed off her new Haxorus, who has evolved from Axew. Again, another perfect decision which shows her growth even more. I feel like the battle with Ash was fine. I think no matter what way it went, there would have been complaints. But I really love this episode. It showed off Iris so well. She kept her fun, childish personality, still teasing Ash. She was just a joy to see back on the screen, and I loved every minute. The episode remains as one of my favourites in all of Journeys. So coming in first place is Gary Oak. So this first place pick is pretty biased. Sure, Gary didn't have as much glamour, as much development, and an epic battle with Ash like Iris did, but Gary is probably my favourite character in all of the Pokemon anime. He has such an iconic legacy. For me personally, being a massive original series fan, I was counting the days to see this guy come back. And then finally he got shown in that third opening, and it was a huge moment for me and for everyone. Gary was finally returning for the first time since Diamond and Pearl. Gary Oak was always a main character in my opinion. He constantly returned to the lab despite his and Ash's rivalry ending. He never really went away. You always felt his presence until post Diamond and Pearl. He just kind of disappeared. It felt like something was really missing from the anime, and Journeys have done a great job in re-establishing him in the main plot, having him take part in Project Mew, being one of the chasers and a sort of rival to Go. The episode itself was really good. There was a lot going on, so I don't think it was as good as the Iris episode as a whole, but I still prefer the return of Gary. He kept his cocky personality straight off the bat, giving Go some stick about not being strong enough, and then he backs his words up with an amazing battle against Moltres with his Blastoise. He just made a really strong impact, and of course him and Ash were close as ever after everything they've been through. I really loved how this episode portrayed their friendship. Ash respects Gary for who he is and admires his confidence and cockiness, and it shows in this episode. I just loved everything about Gary's on-screen moments here, and I'm so glad that Journeys decided to bring him back. It's what we all needed for this series. So Gary Oak gets the #1 spot for the best returning character. So that's it for this list. Be sure to give me your rankings in the comments below. It'll be interesting to see who you think had the best return. But be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and for more anime content. And I'll see you in the next one.